Sparking Zero, a game we've all been waiting 17 years for. This game does a lot right, but there's also a lot of problems, and the question that's been on my mind lately has been, should Sparking Zero get a sequel? I know this feels like a silly question because the game basically just came out, and at the time of writing this, we only have one of the 3 planned DLC packs. But with the prospect of DLC, I have been thinking a lot. Is the foundation that Sparking Zero laid enough? And can this game get the same support as Xenoverse and Kakarot with meaningful updates for years to come? Or is the groundwork Sparking Zero set better suited to a sequel? Let's talk about it. Sparking Zero promised 3 DLC packs, the first being Dragon Ball superhero content, introducing Super Gohan and Piccolo, the Gammas, and Cell Max, as well as some additional content like a costume for Piccolo and a few custom battles. And while the characters they added were amazing, might I even say some of the best in the game, the pack itself was overall kinda underwhelming. The drop also included a patch to address some of the glaring issues with competitive, but some of those fixes just ended up being more harmful than helpful. And that was one of the last major updates the game has received since launch, and there hasn't been any other major balance changes since then. Sparking Zero launched on October 11th, and DLC Pack 1 came out on January 23rd. That's 3 months of basically nothing in way of balance. And we're on that exact same timeline now, waiting patiently for the next DLC pack, not just for the Daima characters, but hopefully some good balance changes as well. The benefit of having one game that you can support for years is watching the game evolve as the community gives feedback. More characters, maps, modes, and more being added. And there's the added benefit of only having to purchase one game. The issue is that, at least with the way things look, Bandai has no intention of adding that content, like maps or customization options. At least nothing they've spoken openly about. Sure, we know more characters are coming, but once DLC Pack 3 launches, what comes next? Are we locked into a cycle of a few new characters every 3 to 4 months, along with a couple okay balance changes? I certainly hope not. But let's take a look at Xenoverse 2. It's gotten tons of updates since its launch in 2016, new characters, new core modes, tons of additional story content, and more. If Sparking Zero can start to get meaningful content updates such as map packs, more costumes, and cosmetics to make the in-game shop relevant again, it would really make a difference. I would love it if at the very least they added the what-if characters from the story like, spoilers, Gohan Black and Super Saiyan Vegeta Scouter. There's plenty of other things Sparking Zero could add to the game, such as Raging Blast skill customization, crossplay, more single-player modes like a full roster gauntlet, more couch co-op modes like local tournaments or raids, which could also be great for online play, allowing for friends to team up and take on ultra-powerful enemies, or hordes of enemies, swapping characters out as they need, or as they get eliminated. Think what Rhymestyle, Dododoya, and Syriax do in their 3 Idiots series. The underlying issue is, yeah, these all sound great, but is it realistic? Truthfully, nothing Bandai has done has shown us they would be willing to go that deep in restructuring the game in that way, but what if there was another option? What if Sparking Zero got a sequel? What if, instead of seeing Sparking Zero as a sequel, we saw it as the first in a rebooted series? If Sparking Zero is Budokai Tenkaichi, then who knows what the next game or the following game could look like? Assuming a lot there, I know. But if they use the foundation Sparking Zero laid to make those meaningful changes, add additional characters, hell, maybe even adding in those systems people are asking for, like skill customization or crossplay, which would require a total rework of their current netcode, I believe would be a bit more enticing for them with the context that they could package it up again and resell it at full price. Which to me, that's the biggest issue with a sequel. Myself and plenty of others purchased the Ultimate Edition of Sparking Zero, a $100 price tag, and if in 2 years they drop a sequel, well, it'll likely be a very similar story. But if we break it down with the current DLC pricing scheme, each pack being $18 US after purchasing the 3 packs from Season 1, it will run you over $50, and then if they do a Season 2, over the next year, you'll have spent another $50. So between the game and 2 years of support, you're already paying almost $200, and as far as we know, that's only for a handful of characters and basically nothing else. To me, instead of spending $50 a year for some content, I would much rather just spend $70 again for a lot of content in the form of a new game. I know there's going to be some people out there who are going to bring up the Season Pass, which is $35, and that's going to give you all 3 of the DLC packs that we currently know about. And though that is great and it is technically cheaper, again, imagine we do a Season 2 or a Season 3. That's going to rack up to $70, $100. And if you're somebody who doesn't already own the game, if you go and buy the game, it's going to be $70 and then $100 for all of the DLC that's come out. Basically spending $200 for everything in the game. Hey, Future Gunch here, interjecting on past Gunch there to also say you can still buy the deluxe edition of the game, which is only $100, putting the game and Season 1 of DLC a little bit cheaper than if you bought them separately, but that is also taking into account that future DLC releases beyond Season 1 are still not going to be included in the price of the deluxe edition. That's all, back to the video. Essentially spending $200 to buy the game twice, or alternatively, you can spend $70 on a sequel that includes all of that content. Again, I know that's assuming a lot, but I would think that they would include all of the DLC content as base content for a sequel. Another benefit of a sequel is graphical improvements. Honestly, Sparking Zero is a gorgeous game, and so many of the animations are peak. But there's always room for improvement, and without a sequel, things like fixing animations, shading, camera, and etc. likely won't ever be addressed, at least not in any major capacity. Basically, the debate of DLC versus sequel boils down to what Bandai is willing to do. The game could be fixed to the point of basically being a new game, with added content, balance patches, and changing some mechanics, or they could just address all of those problems at once and then sell it back to us. I suppose we won't know what they have planned for Sparking Zero until the final DLC pack drops, but I want to know from you down in the comments if you think they can fix Sparking Zero with updates, or if the prospect of a shiny new game is more appealing to you. Whatever Bandai decides to do, I want the game to thrive, because it is a good game, but it has the potential to be great. It's up to them to unlock that potential. And that is going to be it for this one. Thank you all for watching. This has been on my mind for a little while now, and I know the community has been really passionate lately about wanting to see the game improve. So I'm curious what you guys think. But if you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. It really helps me out a lot. I make tons of other Sparking Zero and Dragon Ball content here on this channel, along with other gaming stuff, so go check that out while you're here. I also live stream almost every day of the week, so if you see that we're live, come say hi. But with that, I've been Gunchpot, this has been a video. Thank you everybody again so much for watching, and of course, as always, see you next time.